Call this regular city council meeting to order. Invocation by OMNIBUS.
Heavenly Father, I thank you for having us all together here tonight. I pray for your hand of protection over the city of Taylorville, for our police officer and our fire department as they serve our community to keep them safe. As we near the 4th of July, I pray that we never forget the freedoms that we have been granted in this country, freedom to assemble, freedom to govern ourselves. And I pray we will do that wisely and with your guidance tonight. In the name of Jesus, I pray.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Matt Brown.
Here.
Megan Bryant. Larry Bud.
Here.
Steve Dorsones.
Here.
Kathy Joseph.
Here.
Jim Wallace.
Here.
Mitchell Benton.
Here.
Jeremy Wolf.
Here.
All of them present except Alderman Bryant. I would like to congratulate Mr. Jack Brown and Mr. James Smith on their awards tonight. It is great to be able to give these awards in person. It's been about 15 months since we've been able to do this. I consider these two gentlemen pillars of our community for their great service to our veterans and also our community. I want to welcome Congressman Davis in, and if Mr. Brown and Mr. Smith would come forward, I will give you clap. And they say, there we go, that way. The city of Taylorville would like to recognize Mr. Jack Brown and Mr. James Smith. Thank you for your service to our community in commemorating our fallen soldiers. Both these gentlemen do great work on Memorial Day celebration. Jack's been the MC of it for 20 plus years, I believe. And Jim's been the head of the municipal band for a lot longer than that. And I just thank you for your service and congratulations.
Brown, thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to shake the alderman's hands? Thank you so much. Thank you. We got cake for you inside of the conference room. I know the band's got to go to practice. So this band, Wednesday night at the fairgrounds.
7 o'clock.
Make sure you get a piece of cake on the way out. I think what a musician do, they run off and practice. That's what they do. Mayor, can I say something? Yes, you can. Mr. Brown would like to speak.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens, on behalf of Jim and myself, I think I'd really admit that we didn't think the mayor, city council, and all those people who have been involved in all these many years in making the Memorial Day ceremonies at Oak Hill Cemetery what it's been. It's taken the cooperation and support of all of you in order to make it happen. And we are deeply appreciative of that effort and that support. Thank you. We will be
The same thing with the city council and the city. I think the Taylorville Municipal Band is one of the older bands in the state of Illinois. I think it was started in 1923, what I can get the dates. And so you start figuring it up, and it's been around for a few years. And it's keep going because of people like you and city council and the mayor and the people that keep it going for as long as it has. So I appreciate that, and I know a lot of people do. There aren't many very many towns of this size that can maintain a group like that. It's a good playing group, and I appreciate all the good players I've had over a long period of time. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's cake time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Motion to approve the omnibus vote designation. Motion by Alderman Skoltedi, second by Alderman Brown. Roll call.
Larry Bud. Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Bruce Marsalis.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Minutes of the public hearing held June 7th, 2021. Minutes of the regular meeting held June 7th, 2021. Minutes of the Lake and Airport Committee meeting held June 10th, 2021. Minutes of the Water Environmental Committee meeting held June 10th, 2021. Minutes of the Finance Committee meeting held June 17th, 2021. And minutes of the Ordinance Committee meeting held June 17th, 2021. Minutes to approve, or motion to approve all the minutes. Motion by Alderman Skoltedi, second by Alderman Driscoll. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Crystal Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Plan Commission's recommendation. Mr. Hauser?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor, and members of the Board of Aldermen. Planning Commission met this evening to hear, we were presented with two items. One of them was a site plan for Farm Credit, Illinois, which is on 1500 North Road, or Illinois 104, just a little west of its intersection with 29. And the other one was a site plan for Midtown Plaza at 1187 East, 1500 North Road. It's right on the corner, the northwest corner of 104 and 29. Both of the plans had not met the ordinances and the criteria of information that needs to be presented for the city engineering firm to recommend that we recommend approval to you. So both items were tabled and hopefully should come up next meeting for approval. So that was all of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ordinance, amending the zoning classification and granting a special use for certain property, Douglas and Nancy Miller, 307 through 315 Heights Avenue property. Motion to approve the ordinance. Motion by Alderman Driscoll, second. Alderman Wilson, questions or comments? Roll call.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Crystal Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Mayor Bear.
Yes, motion carries 8-0. Ordinance amending the zoning classification and granting of a special use for certain property owned by Douglas and Nancy Miller, 60 through 70 Heights Circle property. Motion by Alderman Dorsones, second. Alderman Brown, questions or comments? Roll call.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Crystal Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Mayor Bear.
Yes, motion carries 8-0. Ordinance amending section 3-3-5 of chapter 3 of title 3 of the Taylorville City Code. Reduced liquor license fees for gaming parlors. Motion to approve the ordinance. Motion to approve the ordinance on the reduced fees for the gaming parlors. Last chance, is there a motion to approve the reduced liquor license fees for gaming parlors? Seeing no motion is made, the ordinance will fail. So we'll go to amending, next ordinance, amending paragraph D of section 3-3-13 of chapter 3 of title 3 of the Taylorville City Code. allowing designated drive-up facilities for the sale and delivery of alcoholic liquors in their original unopened containers. Motion to approve that ordinance? Motion by Alderman Skoltedi, second.
Second.
Alderman Wilson, questions or comments? Roll call?
Jim Olive,
No.
Chris Scoltetti,
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson,
Yes.
Doug Brown,
Yes.
Larry Bud,
No.
Steve Dorsones,
No.
Kathy Driscoll.
No.
Motion fails 3-4. Resolution authorizing non-hazardous waste service agreement for Waste Management of Illinois. We need to approve the agreement with them. Motion by Alderman Bud, second by Alderman Driscoll. Questions or comments?
Got a couple of comments, Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Okay.
When you vote on this, just be aware that it is a 5-year contract that automatically renews unless the city would give a 90-day notice prior to the last year. So you ought to have that on your ticker system so you don't forget that it's gonna end in 5 years and you wanna take a look at it. And that has to be by certified mail, return receipt requested. And they do have the right, under certain circumstances, you'll see in there, to raise the rates contrary to what's on the exhibit. That would be for, certain things spelled out in the agreement, so just be aware of that when you approve this tonight. Any questions?
Well, with the 5-year agreement, we've already got the increases already.
They're in there, but the fine print does allow them
Right,
to,
like a fuel surcharge and different things, waived.
that among others.
Right.
Yeah, so, okay.
All right, motion to approve? Motion by Alderman Wilson, second. Alderman Dorsones, questions or comments? Roll call?
Chris Scoltetti,
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson,
Yes.
Doug Brown,
Yes.
Larry Bud,
Yes.
Steve Dorsones,
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll,
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yep.
Motion carries 7-0. Motion to approve the mayor's appointment of Ben Robinson to the library board. We'll take these in separate, we'll vote on both these separately. The first motion I need is to approve the mayor's appointment of Ben Robinson to the library board.
Okay.
Motion by Alderman Olive, second. Alderman Brown, questions or comments? Roll call?
Jeremy Wilson,
Yes.
Doug Brown,
Yes.
Larry Bud,
Yes.
Steve Dorsones,
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll,
Yes.
Jim Olive,
Yes.
Chris Scoltetti.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. The second motion is to approve the mayor's appointment of Ron McCavis to the BDD committee. This is, Ed Downs is moving out of the area, so this is to replace Ed Downs on the committee, so I need a motion to approve Ron McCavis. Motion by Alderman Brown, second. Alderman Wilson, questions or comments? Roll call?
Doug Brown,
Yes.
Larry Bud,
Yes.
Steve Dorsones,
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll,
Yes.
Jim Olive,
Yes.
Chris Scoltetti,
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Motion to approve the special events permit for Journey in July to be held in the Taylorville Square, July 16th through the 18th.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Wilson, second Alderman Bud. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. City attorney update.
Folks, I gave you 3 things for reading material, sleeping material this evening. I don't know if you saw your email, but I sent you 8 long documents as where we're at, the current status of a lawsuit that's been filed by Mr. Shahad against the city and his 2 interlocutory appeals with the appellate court. Today was the deadline for us to file our brief. It is there. You'll find it under a blue cover if you happen to want to read it. But it's got the entire pleadings and all the records that went up to the appellate court for review. So there's 8 long documents, so read those at your pleasure, please. The second thing is that I also this afternoon sent out to you a proposed master lease agreement that the Taylorville Fire Protection District would like for you folks to consider and to sign. It was found that some of the leases, this concerns all the vehicles that the Fire Protection District has leased to the city over the years currently. Some of the leases have expired, some can't be found, so it was thought we'll have one lease that will cover it all, and you'll see on Exhibit A, it lists all the vehicles. It makes some sense, so we're asking that you guys look at that for July 1, I had the wrong date, she pointed out to me, for the emergency service Services Committee, and then maybe on July 6th you could approve it, and the fire protection is you'll approve it. It's a buck for all the vehicles, for off like till 2030 or something. And then finally, I just want to remind you on your appropriation ordinance that's coming up, you know, that you're refunding some bonds, that needs to be included, that dollar amount needs to be included in your appropriation ordinance, because you're actually retiring those bonds and getting new money. So you want to make sure it gets included in that ordinance, so we don't get messed up on that. Any questions? That's it.
Thank you. Mayoral report. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Brown and Mr. Smith on their awards. We will continue to honor either a youth or a volunteer on our upcoming council meetings. So any suggestions from the aldermen would be well taken. Summer is now here. The lake and cemetery both look excellent. Thank you to Jeffrey and Mike for all their hard work. Treasurer Hamill's done a great job working weekends and evenings trying to get a budget in place. We will meet with the finance chairman and all the superintendents in the next couple of days to try to finalize the budget. I get numerous calls on sidewalk replacements, tree removals, and road repairs. And I ask all aldermen to please spend their award money on these projects. At least get us the projects so we can at least get an idea of what they're going to cost. I met with the new owner of the Round Table today. He has plans to upgrade that property. He's already put air conditioners in there. He's done the roof, going to redo the parking lot. So I think that will be a great addition to our town and to Park Street. We will soon open bids on East Main Cross, and we will soon hire 2 or 3 more people for our street department. We have a lot of work to do. Today I hosted a mayoral meeting, and we discussed everything from fireworks to road repair, dilapidated properties, ARP funds, American Rescue Plan funds that we're getting funds from the federal government, and also the possibility of a county-wide grant writer. On July 3rd, the Chamber will be sponsoring our 4th of July parade at 10 a.m. And I also will host my 5th annual picnic on the courthouse lawn beginning at approximately 11 o'clock. Hot dogs and chips for everyone. And this year, music by Fire Chief Matt Aderman. So hope all the aldermen can show. I ask all aldermen who wish to participate in the parade to let Julie know so she can get the golf carts from Battery Specialists. I also suggest, as we did last year, that all aldermen pay for the candy that they plan to throw out. I do not believe that we should use taxpayer money to throw candy out to our constituents. That's just my idea. Thank you. Committee reports. Discussions and/or motions to approve, adopt, and/or deny, and/or table, and/or amend, and/or refer to an appropriate committee and whole or in part the matters regarding the following subject matters discussed at the committee level. Lake and Airport.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
Weber.
First of all, I'd like to thank Megan for chairing my committee. I was in Florida. The first motion to come out of that with City Council was the purchase of John Deere X750 3-cycle diesel mower with a 60-inch auto connect deck from Saloni Equipment not to exceed $8,000. Make that form of motion.
Motion by Alderman Bud, second by Alderman Wilson. Questions or comments?
Question, are you trading in a mower for that mower?
Yes.
Yes.
Just remind you that you're gonna have to also include in your motion to waive all competitive biddings, because anytime you trade in one article of property of the city for another, the statute says you have to take competitive bids. So, since you haven't done that, I would add, tail in your motion also to include the waive all
And
requires statutory competitive
and
bidding.
include that.
All right. Amended motion by Alderman Bud, second by Alderman Wilson. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim Wallace.
Yes.
Chris Petty.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
The next motion recommend the City Council approve the purchase of 474 reflective lake lot signs from Decker Supply at a cost not to exceed $4,000. Make that form of motion.
Motion by Alderman
Second.
Bud, second by Alderman Driscoll. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim Wallace.
Yes.
Chris Petty.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Water and environmental. Since Alderman Bryan isn't here, Mr. Ollie, would you like to take it over?
I could, thank you, Mr. Mayor. first motion had to come out of the committee was motion to recommend the city council to allow Superintendent Spiegel to start the engineering process to facilitate a second pump at the southwest water tower. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Olive, second.
Second.
Alderman Dorsones, questions or comments? Roll call.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Driscoll Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next motion to come out of committee was to recommend to the city council to approve the purchase of a used 1995 Wells cargo trailer, 6x12 enclosed cargo trailer at the cost not to exceed $2,500. That's the form of motion.
Motion by Alderman Olive, second.
Second.
Alderman Bud, questions or comments? Roll call.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Driscoll Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Finance, Alderman Dorsones.
Thank you, Mayor. Motion to recommend to the city council to approve the renewal of general liability auto, property equipment, sales tax interruption, cyber, and pollution insurance coverage from Chubb and Travelers at a cost of $321,128. Make that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dorsones, second.
Second.
Alderman Bud, questions or comments? Roll call.
Driscoll Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim
Yes.
Olive.
Motion carries 7-0.
Motion to recommend to the city council to approve the BDD application for M&B Investments in the amount of $1,437.50. Make that in form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dorsones, second.
Second.
Alderman Wilson, questions or comments? Roll call.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim
Yes.
Olive. Driscoll Teddy.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Motion to recommend to the city council to request downtown Taylorville.org receive a refund from PS Printing and Northern Lights Display. The city will then pay both vendors directly out of the BDD tax fund for poles and banners, which will then become property of the city of Taylorville. Make that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dorsones, second by Alderman Olive, questions or comments? Roll call.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Driscoll Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Ordinance Committee, Alderman Skoltedi.
Thank you, Mayor. There's two motions coming out. The first is a motion to recommend the city council to direct the city attorney to prepare an ordinance to modify the non-bargaining ordinance to allow chiefs, assistant chiefs, and superintendents to extend the residency requirement to within 6.5-mile radius of the courthouse. And make that a formal motion.
Motion by Alderman Skoltedi, second
Second.
by Alderman Dorsones, questions or comments?
I'd like to make a motion to table until he actually receives the test approval from that. We're getting the cart ahead of the horse here. He
There's a
currently,
motion
I'll
on the
second
floor to
that.
table it.
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Brown. Roll call.
Larry Bud.
yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Driscoll Teddy.
Nope.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes. Motion carries the table 6-1.
All right, next is a motion to recommend the city council to direct the city attorney to make the following changes to paragraph 1 of section 8-5-4 of chapter 5, title 8 of the Taylorville City Code to require the property owner to be responsible for the service line and connections, with the city being responsible for the sewer main and tap, and all extenuating circumstances to be taken to the Street and Sewer Committee for review and determination of responsibility. I'll make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Skoltedi, second by Alderman Driscoll, questions or comments? Roll call.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Driscoll Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. Motion to approve or ratify payment of bills. Motion by Alderman Driscoll, second.
Second.
Alderman Dorsones, questions or comments? I have one comment on the bill. It's just a little bill. It's a cremation bill from Dr. Sloan. So I would like to pull that. It's under the health and safety. I asked HBO Officer Dorchinez, we're unsure of why the city got billed for that. So I would suggest that we pull that bill until we find out more about that. So.
Yeah, I spoke briefly with Ms. Lilly about that. That may just be the title of that entire line in the budget. She's gonna find out. She's gonna check that bill and find out anyway. So, thank you.
I do have one comment.
So we need a motion to pull that bill though first. Motion by Alderman Driscoll to pull that bill, second by Alderman Dorchinez. Roll call.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jim Olive, Chris Teddy, Jeremy Wilson, Doug Brown, Larry Bud,
Yeah.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0 to pull that bill. And we've got a motion and table to pay all the other bills. You got a comment or question, Alderman Bud?
Just if you look at Mr. Romano's, his shahad has cost already $2,826.50. That's just, I mean, he's just wasting the money because he can do it.
Right. You should also know too, initially when I talked with Virginia Hoffman of Travelers, there may be ability to get that reimbursed, some of that from you. You've got she told me that you've got a $25,000 defense fund, but of course you've got other lawsuits going on with other attorneys. I don't know where you stand with that, but this would qualify if it has already been exhausted with the other lawsuits that's pending. It is expensive. You saw what I produced to you today. There's a lot of 2 appeals going on, and you got a lawsuit still pending in circuit court.
If I might
But you're
add.
not the only one being sued.
Since we've seen that this lawsuit is frivolous, is there any way we could just fail to respond? And what if we did
No.
that? I mean,
You don't want to do that.
we don't want to pay $3,000 for a frivolous lawsuit.
No, you don't want to do that either, so that's why he was trying to use that as a tool to try to extract a settlement out of you and the cooperation of you to try to get him to come back from Livingston County Jail down here to Christian County and to put in a good word for him. That was the letter we all see, there's some public record, I'm not saying out of school. So, and I think you folks at the last time said, we're gonna defend it.
All right,
So that's what I'm good about,
thank you.
but I'll be happy. I work for you, so if you correct me,
No,
otherwise,
I
we'll stay.
understand, and I've been asked that by many people, why are we even fighting this? And I agree with, we have to fight even
If you
it's
don't
frivolous.
fight it, there is, and you just play over, play dead,
Yeah.
there's fines and penalties that the court will probably assess against you. And they can be substantial.
As long as we're in good hands, Rocky.
You're an excellent man, I assure you.
You're like all state. Okay.
Even better.
Motion to approve the payment of bills is made, so roll call.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Chris Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Kathy Driscoll.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0. First subparagraph G of 5 ILCS 120/2.06. This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for any person wishing to address the council on any relevant subject matters concerning the city. The Illinois Open Meeting Act 5 ILCS 120/1 at C mandates no action shall be taken on subject matters not listed on the agenda, but the council may direct staff to address the topic or refer the subject matter to a future council and/or committee meeting. If anyone wishes to address the council, please provide your name and address, limit your comments or presentation to 3 minutes, and avoid repetitious comments. Anyone out there like to speak to the council?
Just a quick follow-up on the comments that we were talking about on the pending lawsuit. If you read it carefully, there's also try to say this tactfully, a challenge to your police chief. He's the subject of a lot of allegations here, and we're trying to defend that. So,
I'm just asking what people have asked you. I'm not questioning your legal advice, nor do I question our engineer's advice. The only people's advice I might question is Andy's and Mike's.
Make a social scandal.
Jeffrey's a
All right. Anyone else like to speak?
Not now.
Careful. Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
By Alderman Olive, second by Alderman Driscoll. All in favor?